Good morning. Turn that off. Good morning, everyone. It's really great to see you.
Hi, Sheila. Good morning.
Oh, hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. If you guys can grab some paper and a pen or pencil and your phone, that would be fantastic. I'll give you a minute or two to do that. Fantastic, Annie. Thank you very much. I have so many people here. It's so exciting.
I've been looking forward, Sheila.
Oh, thanks, Annie. You're very kind. So for those of you who've just joined, if you can grab some paper or your journal and a pen or a pencil and your phone, if you would be so kind. Thank you very much. Hi, Ron. Hi, Amy. Hi, Linda.
Hello.
Hi,
Grabbing my paper.
Okay, thanks, Amy. We'll just give it a couple more minutes for anybody else that's coming. So we'll start in a couple of minutes. How's everybody doing this morning? Okay.
It's a lovely Thursday.
It is, isn't it? It's sunny out.
Yes, it's really, really good day. It's a laundry day, actually.
Same with mine. Hopefully you can't hear the dryer going in the background. So it's so nice to see so many people here. Wow. Wonderful. So those of you who've just joined, if you can grab some paper and a pen or a pencil in your phone, that would be fantastic. Hi, Gina. Nice to see you, or see the picture of a beautiful plant in your hand.
Wait, hi, good morning. Yeah, I'm just trying to set myself up. Sorry, yeah, here I am. Yeah,
No, don't worry. Thank you very much for being here.
let me change my background. It's like too
I'm
white.
so amazed with how many people I have. It's quite exciting.
Where are you located?
I am in UK Heights. So
Oh, they're on the other end of town, you know. We
Very-
PJ folks, anything outside of PJ we say is far. And it's true. The stereotype is true.
it feels like the other end of the world. Actually, Shelagh now feels like the other end of the world to me.
Yeah.
It isn't. Hi, Annette. Nice to see you. If you can grab some paper and a pencil or, and pen or pen and your phone, fantastic, great. Annette's actually joining us from Canada. Happy Canada Day. Okay, so we'll wait one more minute. Annette, are there a lot of celebrations at home for Canada Day, or? Oh, I can't hear you. You can turn your mic on.
Happy Canada Day.
Hi,
Good
Lynn.
morning.
Morning. Linda, if you can grab some paper and pen and pencil, and if you already have.
Yeah, I have all that.
Fantastic. Okay. One more minute. Oh, somebody else is joining us. Hi, Maya.
Oi! Oh boy.
Maya, yeah. Maya, can you turn your mic off? We can hear lots of interesting sounds in the background.
I think that's Linda. Linda is playing with her Del Boy.
Oh, how many, Linda, how many cats do you have now? I think she has about 10. I have 3. So hopefully they won't jump out up on the counter. I'm hoping.
Oh, okay. I have 4. I just rescued one a month ago.
On. Yay for us for rescuing animals. It's fantastic.
I thought I was muted, sorry.
No, that's okay, Linda. Don't worry.
I don't know why Del Boy just managed to get into that room.
No worries. And by the way, I can't see you. I don't know if you
No.
want to turn on your video, and it's
No.
fine. If any of you don't feel comfortable to turn on your video, please don't worry. Okay. Completely understand.
I would normally turn off my video after the session starts just to save the bandwidth. Yeah. But
Yeah,
you know,
it's
before the meeting, it's nice to see each other, you know.
I agree. Seriously, whatever's more comfortable, because this is all about self-compassion. So if you feel more comfortable with your video off, really, that's absolutely fine. Okay, so 2 more, and then we'll get started.
So, Annette, which part of Canada are you located in?
Oh, Annette, can you turn your mic on? Your mic, Annette?
Oh,
She's actually located in Victoria, where I'm from. Hi, Anita.
Hi.
Hello. So nice to
Hello,
see
everyone.
you today. Welcome. I think we can get started. Wow, there's so many people. Look, you guys, really, thank you very much for being here today. I really appreciate it. I'm going to keep your mics off because we're going to be doing a couple of meditations. But please feel free when there are open discussions just to raise your hand and turn your mic on, because I'd love to hear from you. If you can actually turn off your phones. So I don't know if you came late, if you can grab some paper and a pen or pencil and your phone for a couple of exercises that we're doing. And if you can't hear me, at any time during our hour together, please let me know, okay? Because sometimes in meditations, my voice lowers. So if you can't hear me, let me know, okay? Just maybe chat, text box me. And if there are any technical issues, I've got my right-hand man here, Mr. Jasper, who will help with any technical issues that may come along. Okay. So my name is Shelagh Macfarlane, and most of you probably know who I am. I'm a psychologist, coach, and trainer. I'm from Vancouver, Canada, and I've been living here in Malaysia for the past 22 years. And I'm looking forward to today because I get to share something that's really been important in my life and helped cultivate well-being, and that's mindful self-compassion. And I'd really love to hear what your hopes are for today, for our hour. So if you can just write in the chat box, and if you're unfamiliar with Zoom, just go down to the bottom of your screen and click on chat. And then on the right-hand side of the screen, you're going to have a long rectangular white box. Just start typing that. So what are your hopes for today? What do you hope to get out of today with me? And I'll just put on my trusty glasses so I can see. Trying out new earphones, right on. I hope to find ways to love myself better. Yes, I think we all want that. Peace and calm. Thanks, Gina. It's been a hectic few weeks. I'm looking for some time now to just be quiet. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for sharing, Dina. Sense of calm and ability to tune out. Yeah, thank you. Anita, can't hear you. I'm not sure. Can everybody else hear me? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, Shelagh, I'm actually Anita. I came out as Dina just now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just renamed myself.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes, can you?
Thanks.
Okay, very good. Thanks, guys. Anyone else like to share what they hope for today? What are your hopes for the next hour? What everyone else is saying. Yep, I agree. Okay. My hope is that I will be able to help fulfill your hopes for today. And that the skills and the techniques that I've shared with you today will help cultivate a beautiful garden of well-being for you. And I want you to imagine that your well-being is this incredibly beautiful garden. And the tools and the techniques that I'm going to share with you today are like the rich soil and the fertilizer and the nutrients that will help cultivate that garden so it's lush and fertile and it flourishes. So let's dive in. How many of you are familiar with mindfulness practices, self-compassion, and meditation? Just hands up. How many of you are familiar? Okay, so a few of you. And how many are not that familiar with mindful self-compassion or meditation? Just hands up. Okay, wonderful. Well, thanks for joining today. I really appreciate it. And I hope the journey is enjoyable and the things that I share with you today will help cultivate a garden of well-being. So what I'd like to do is start with a practice. If you can get in a position that's comfortable for you, and then just close your eyes or have your eyes half open with a soft gaze to the floor. Whatever feels better for you. And taking a couple of big, nice, deep breaths in and out. Just to bring yourself into the present moment. And then just allowing your breath just to float down to its own rhythm, going in and going out. Just like the ebb and the flow of the tide, with the inhale and the exhale. Putting everything else aside right now and just allowing the next few minutes to be for you. Feeling like you're being bathed by the breath, just like when you're soaking in a hot tub, standing underneath a hot shower. Just being bathed by the breath. And now that we're here physically, we're present physically, this following practice will help bring our hearts and our minds into the present moment as well. Now let's begin by just simply listening to the sounds in the room that you're in right now. Just sitting in the midst of those sounds. Allowing the sounds to just come to you. Noticing the quality of the sounds. Maybe even the direction that they're coming from. Just being with the sounds in the present moment as you're breathing steadily and softly. Now in your mind's eye, finding your own body in the room that you're in right now. Perhaps welcome yourself into the room, or greeting yourself with an inner smile of welcome. Inclining towards yourself as you might toward a dear friend. Now I invite you to drop your awareness into your body and just noticing the physical sensations from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes. Just really being aware of the sensations in your body. Putting your attention now on the areas that feel pleasant. Maybe your shoulders feel relaxed. Or maybe you just feel a sense of comfort by being held by the chair that you're sitting in. Just noticing the areas that are pleasant. And now shifting your awareness to areas of your body that feel just neutral, neither pleasant nor unpleasant. Maybe your arms and hands just gently resting in your lap. Maybe feeling nothing at all, just neutral. And now placing your attention on areas of your body that feel a little bit unpleasant. Maybe there's tension in your shoulders or tightness in your chest. Or maybe pain in your knee from maybe an old injury. Or maybe feeling a little bit uncomfortable in your stomach. Just noticing areas of your body that feel a little bit uncomfortable, a little bit unease. And now placing your attention on one particular area that feels a little bit painful. And what I'd like you to do is just soften your heart into that area that feels painful, or that you feel discomfort. And literally breathing in kindness to that area. Just giving that area kindness with your breath and your heart. Just letting your heart melt. And as we come to the end of this practice, taking a moment to appreciate the effort and good intentions that brought you here today. Already, this is an act of compassion. And when you're ready, open your eyes and let the world and light back in. Okay, so what was that practice like for you? I'd love to hear your sharing. If you can just put your hand up and maybe turn on your video if you feel comfortable, and turn on your mic. I'd really be interested to hear how that practice was for you. Anybody would like to share, or maybe even just writing in the text box, the chat box, How was that practice for you? What was it? Yes, Annette.
Very calm.
Very common. Thanks, Annette.
Yeah. Thank you.
And Annette, were you able to put kindness or give kindness or breathe kindness into that area that felt a little bit of discomfort?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah. Well, it's a bit of an awakening. You know, sometimes we come at things with judgment, and we need to just come at them with compassion and kindness.
Wonderful. Thanks, Annette. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome.
Would you like to share? Hand up. Raise your hand and turn on your mic. Or if you don't feel comfortable, certainly to type in the chat box. Was it difficult? Was it difficult to actually give that area of your body kindness? Was it difficult? Because sometimes it can be. Is it difficult for anybody? Maybe yes or no in the chat box?
Sheila, today it's been a bit difficult for me. Anita here.
Hi, Anita.
Hi, it's been a bit difficult because I just got so many things going on, and I'm actually trying to, you know, do a couple of things sometimes at the same time. So it's taking me longer. Yeah.
Thank you very much for being here, because yeah, our lives are busy, and I do appreciate all of you taking the time today. And I hope, Anita, by the end of this session that you'll feel a little bit more relaxed.
Yeah, I already do. Actually, the
Wonderful.
meditation just now did help.
Fantastic. Thanks. Okay, that's something new for me. Wow, cool. Feels strange, but I felt it relaxing. Right on. Okay, fantastic, Gina. Yeah, when you've never experienced this before, it does feel a little bit unusual. So thank you for trying that out. Anyone else like to share? Okay. So what we just experienced were the 3 building blocks of mindful self-compassion. The first is stopping. The second is noticing our experience in the present moment. And the third is responding with kindness. So let's unpack this a little bit. Stopping. Now, in that exercise, literally sitting, closing your eyes, and taking a breath. Stopping. Now, this actually can be quite a challenging thing for us to do in our lives, even during COVID, where we slow down a bit, but then there's cleaning of the house. There is homeschooling if we have kids. If you're working from home, having to deal with meetings online. It can be craziness. Going to the grocery store can take up half a day. So, and meeting friends online. So actually life is really, really busy. And even before COVID, going to work, going shopping, taking the kids to school, meeting friends, busy, busy, busy. So sometimes it's actually hard to kind of stop. And when we do stop physically, it doesn't necessarily mean we stop mentally. There's still a lot going on up there. And I don't know if you're like me, but when I actually make the decision to stop and take a break, my mind goes, but you know what? You're kind of wasting time here. You've got all this other stuff you have to be doing. Do you all agree with that? Just maybe a Y for yes or an N for no in your chat box. Feeling like you feel guilty when you actually sit and stop? I certainly do. So stopping can be quite a challenging thing to do. Simple, but challenging. That's something new for me. Yeah, feels strange. Yeah, exactly. So literally stopping, and I think for many of us don't. And when we do, we feel guilty. So the second thing is noticing our experience in the present moment. So in that exercise, first noticing the sounds around us, the quality of the sound, where the sound is coming from, and then dropping down into our body and feeling sensations, whether they're pleasant, whether they're kind of neutral or unpleasant. And then the third building block is actually replying or giving ourselves kindness, responding with kindness. Now, this can be quite a tricky thing, especially when it comes to feelings of inadequacy, failure, making stupid mistakes. What we tend to do when we feel inadequate, when we make stupid mistakes, and we feel like we failed, we tend to kind of go into judgment and criticism. Now imagine how we're cultivating our garden. What are we cultivating with? Let's say really bad soil and maybe some toxic waste. So we're already feeling bad, and then we judge ourselves and we criticize ourselves for it. Right on. So I like to look at this a little bit more deeply with the journaling exercise. So if you can take your pen and paper or pencil, and I'm going to be asking you a couple of questions that I'd like you to reflect upon, and then just to write the answers to. And we're going to be alternating between our eyes closed and our eyes open. So if we can begin by just getting in a position that's comfortable. And I'd like you to close your eyes and take a couple of nice big deep breaths in and out, just to kind of bring ourselves into the present moment. And then just allowing the breath just to settle. Going in and going out. Just putting everything else aside just for the next few minutes. Just being with the breath, just for a minute or two. Just getting yourself settled in the present moment. I'd like you to think about various times that you had a close friend who was suffering in some way. Maybe they had a misfortune. They feel like they failed, or maybe even felt inadequate. How do you typically respond to them? And you may have a close friend that you're thinking about specifically who's gone through something difficult, who feels bad, they feel like they failed, or they feel just inadequate. What do you say to them? How do you respond? What's your tone of voice? What's your posture like? So when someone that you know, that you care about, is feeling inadequate or feeling like they failed, what do you say to them? How do you respond? And when you're ready, just open your eyes and just jot that down in your journal or the paper that you have next to you. But how do you respond to a friend, someone you care about, who feels inadequate? What do you say to them? And just write that down. Okay. So if we can close our eyes again and just be with the breath for a minute, just centering yourself in the present. And now I'd like to think about various times where you have suffered in some way, had a misfortune, feel like you failed, or you feel inadequate, or made stupid mistakes. How do you typically respond to yourself? What do you normally say when you feel that you failed, you feel inadequate? What do you normally say to yourself? What kind of tone do you use? And when you're ready, open your eyes and just jot down what came to mind then, and how you treat yourself when you feel like you're failed. I'm harsh, yeah. Absolutely. I'm harsh on myself, but not on someone I care about. Yep. So when you look at how you respond to someone you care about who's feeling fragile, who's feeling like they failed in some way or inadequate, and how we respond to ourselves can be very, very different. we tend to sling judgment and criticism at ourselves. So not only are we feeling bad, we put some really bad, unhealthy topsoil on that of judgment and criticism. And I think we probably feel more or less all the same way. So if you can just put a Y or a no in the text box, just so I know you're here with me. Yeah. Right. So we're all in the same boat. So when we're with someone who's going through something difficult, what we offer is care and kindness and compassion. And it's those very things that cultivate well-being in that person and cultivate well-being in our relationship with that person. But what we're cultivating within our garden of well-being is judgment and criticism. There's something wrong here. So in your view, what do you think are the necessary ingredients to feel compassion? Now let me give you an example. When you're with someone, to actually listen without judgment, for instance, to be kind. So what do you feel are the necessary ingredients to feel compassion for others and ourselves? If you can just write that in the chat box, that would be super. What do you think the ingredients are that are necessary to feel compassion? Listen without judgment. Yep, absolutely. Thanks, Anita. Love self first, yes. Yeah. See the goodness and strength in others first. Yep, absolutely. Thanks, Annie. Absolutely. Understanding of the person. Thanks, Maya. Yeah. Anyone else like to share? Respect their needs. Yep. Good listener. Yep. Time to listen rather than react. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Thanks, Carol. Thanks for sharing, everyone. I really appreciate that. So we first need to be aware, right? We need to be aware of what the other person is feeling, to sense what they're feeling. And if you think when you're with a friend, you feel what they're feeling. Like when they're feeling down and they feel inadequate, we can actually feel what they're feeling. And then we have the inclination to give kindness and compassion to that person. And when we do that, we have a deeper sense of connection. Right? Does that make sense? So Dr. Kristen Neff, she's a researcher. She's been researching compassion actually for over 20 years. And she's written this particular book, among many. You can see that. I really highly recommend this book. It's fantastic. She's also co-authored a 8-week mindful self-compassion course, which I've been taught in and I actually teach myself. And in her years of research, over 20 years of research, just in compassion, what she found was there's 3 major components. The first one is kindness versus judgment. The second one is common humanity versus isolation. And the third is mindfulness versus over-identification. So let's look at this. Let's unpack this a little bit. Kindness versus judgment. Now, as we saw in that journaling exercise, we are definitely far more kind to others that are suffering rather than ourselves. We love to kind of fling judgment and criticism at ourselves. And I can tell you the Garden of Wellbeing is not doing very well. And I don't know if you're like this, but somehow, somewhere along the line, I was led to believe that if I am hard on myself and push myself, I will be more successful and happy. And I will make less mistakes. Now, this has happened to me. Don't make that mistake again, because you know what happened last time. Remember? And guess what? I make the same mistakes over and over and over again, because somehow the judgment and criticism is not working. But I still believe it does. Somewhere in my mind, I think if I'm hard on myself, I will make less mistakes. Or somehow I'm going to have more control. Okay, just don't say anything stupid and don't do anything stupid. Just don't do anything dumb. Guess what? I walk out of a situation going, oh my God, why did I say that? Why did I do that, you stupid idiot? Has that helped as relating to any of this? Yeah, yes. Okay, judgment, criticism, less mistakes, more control. All of that leads to happiness and success. Pushing ourselves, judgment, plus criticism equals happiness and success. Yeah, of course it makes sense. Not. Luckily there is science. Thank God there is science. And please look online because there's loads of research on this. Science actually has proven that when we judge and criticize ourselves, literally we are physically weakened. We are weaker physically. So if we're weaker physically, it means that we are probably going to be less enthusiastic and less motivated, right? And actually, it's proven that we make more mistakes and we're less in control. So happiness and success, I don't think so. Second component, common humanity versus isolation. When, generally speaking, we have the tendency when we feel inadequate, we feel like we fail like we make stupid mistakes, what we tend to do is to look out and compare. Yeah, look at them. They won't make the same mistakes as I do. They're not as stupid as me. They're perfect. They've got success. They're happy. And look at me. So what happens is it's them and me, not we, but them and me. So then I feel disconnected and you feel isolated, right? Then there's the and or situation. When we feel inadequate or we feel like we failed in some way, we don't necessarily want to be around other people, right? Because we don't want to be a bloody wet blanket. Oh, poor me, I feel really bad right now because I feel like a failure. We don't want them to feel like incumbent to be nice to us. And, maybe they'll think that I'm like this all the time, that I'm kind of like, yeah, really a wet noodle, wet blanket. Who wants to be around me? Pity party, right? And maybe I'll be judged. So I'll stay on my own, I'll get it together, I'll figure it all out. And then when I'm perfect and happy, I'll go back out in the world. Well, then again, it's them and me. Disconnection, feeling alone, feeling isolated, and feeling really bloody lousy. The thing is that we need to remember that we are human beings, and being human is about suffering sometimes, and it's about inadequacy sometimes and making mistakes and failure, because we all go through it. Every single person on this planet feels these things. And we have to stop and remind ourselves, you know what? I'm human and I'm not alone. Because we all feel these things from time to time. But sometimes, somewhere in our minds, we think everyone else has it together and we don't. But we're all the same. And it's not comparing my pain is worse or better than yours. It's just reminding ourselves that we all go through this. So we don't feel so alone. And the third component is mindfulness versus over-identification. Now, what does that mean? I'm going to give you a little bit of an idea first, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more in detail in a minute. So what does mindfulness versus over-identification mean? Well, when we're kind of feeling inadequate, we feel like we failed, just feel generally down, what happens is we get caught in it. We get stuck in it. We literally swim around in it, right? I can't get out. I just feel really bad, right? Do we all we're all on the same page, right? As far as this is concerned. So what mindfulness does is it literally lifts us out of that quagmire of feeling really bad, lifts us out of that and gives us some space to decide how we want to respond, not react with judgment, but maybe respond with kindness and compassion. So I'd like to give you a little bit more of an idea and feel for what mindfulness is and how it can help. And I just want to read this before I get in. Sheila, I have to leave now. Okay. Thanks very much for coming. I really appreciate it, Annie. See you later. Bye. Okay, so I'd like to give you a little bit of a taste on what being mindful is like. So I'd like you to take your phone, okay? And I just like you to just have a look at it. Just look at your phone. And just notice if your mind is darting all over the place, thinking about all sorts of different things. Just noticing your quality of attention. Notice how you're feeling physically. How do you feel physically right now? And how are you feeling emotionally? Just noticing. I'd like you to put your phone down now, and what I'd like you to do is just get in a position that's comfortable for you, closing your eyes, taking a couple of nice big deep breaths in and out. Just welcoming yourself into the present moment. And then just allowing your breath just to float down to its own natural rhythm, like the ebb and the flow of the tide. Just being with the breath. Letting the breath breathe you. And you find your mind wanders away, just gently bring it back to the present moment, to the breath. Because your breath is always in the present. Allowing your breath to fill your lungs with life-giving air with the inhale. And then with the exhale, feeling a sense of relaxation. Just being with the breath. And now opening your eyes again and just taking your phone and just looking at your phone now while you're aware of your breath in the background. And just notice your quality of attention now. Notice if your mind or your thoughts have slowed down a bit. What are you feeling physically? And how are you feeling emotionally? Okay, just putting your phone down now and just closing your eyes for the last time for this practice. And just being with your breath again. Just putting everything else aside. Just being in the present moment. Just giving yourself some space. And then just open your eyes and letting the world and light back in. Okay, so what was the difference with the first time you looked at the phone and the second time? Was there any difference in the quality of your attention? How are you feeling physically or emotionally? And just, if you'd like to share, turn on your mic, or if you'd like to just type in the chat box. What was the difference between the first time and the second time?
Sheila, for me, there was a significant difference. The first time I was actually tense, and I could see my eyes was like darting all over the phone, you know. And then when the message came in, you know, I'm like thinking, oh my God, what's that?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And after the meditation, I was so much. Actually, I actually felt a sense of joy and peace, and calm. And when I looked at my phone, it was like, okay.
Wow.
So, okay, yeah.
Thanks, Anita. I'm really glad that you had
That was amazing. I mean, I never expected in that short, you know, time, I could feel that, I could really literally feel and see the switch, the difference.
It's crazy,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so simple, but so powerful. So thank you very much for. Hi, Francis. Nice to have you on board. Thanks, Anita, for sharing. Anyway,
Thank you.
hi, Francis. Anyone else like to share the difference between looking at your phone the first time and the second time? And again, if you feel you want to write in your chat box instead, please feel free. The first time when I was looking at the phone, I was just reminded of everything I had needed to do. Yeah. Or he knew who I needed to message, etc. Whereas the second time, I just felt more relaxed. Wow, fantastic. And was able to just focus on the screen, save or yes, which was a picture of, and I don't have my glasses on. Hang on, let me look. Where are my glasses? Oh, I don't have my glasses on. Sorry, I can't read SSI. Oh, SSI, got it. Thank you. Thanks to my partner here. First time my mind was jumping around, reacting to the phone. Yeah, the second time I was just calm. I didn't engage. Wow, fantastic. So did you guys generally feel the same way? Just put a Y or an N in the text box. Okay. Now, isn't that crazy? If you think that when you are consciously with the breath, just consciously with the breath, it brings you in the present moment. You have a better quality of attention. You're more focused and calm. Wow. Just being with the breath. And that is the essence of mindfulness. Being with the breath, placing yourself in this space that's non-judgmental and kind. Wow. And you feel more present. Your quality of attention is better. You're more relaxed. That's pretty cool. And it does the same for our mind because we have busy mind. Let me give you an illustration. Okay. I want you to imagine this container is your mind, okay? And all of these little tiny pieces of glitter, thanks to Carol, all these little tiny pieces of glitter are our thoughts going round and round and round. I call that a lot of chaos, people. A lot of chaos going on up there, okay? That is your mind 45% of the time. 45% of the time that's what your mind looks like. Now, here it is. That 45% of the time, we are not in control. Our mind is, believe it or not. We're like on autopilot going in our lives. 45% of the time. Now you may be going, no, but I got it. I'm totally in the moment all the time. I know what's going on. Okay, just asking you this. Do you remember brushing your teeth this morning? And if you said yes, it took you a couple of seconds there to remember it, didn't it? Or do you remember what you had for dinner last night? Oh yeah. Kind of a delay in response, isn't there? Or the last conversation you had with someone. No. So let me give you a scenario here and see if you can relate. Okay. So you're meeting a friend or a colleague, okay, in the local mall. Now for us living in Malaysia, let's say KLCC. For those of you, big shopping mall in Canada, okay? We have Canadians on board. And happy Canada Day again for everybody who's living in Canada or those Canadians here. Anyway, so you're going to meet this friend, okay, for coffee, lunch, meeting, whatever it is in KLCC. So you're going to get your keys. And it's like, I know I put my keys there. Where are my keys? Who's playing a joke on me? Who stole my keys and is hiding them? Who are you? Or you might be thinking, I can't remember where I left my keys. Where are my keys? Where are my keys? Okay, I'm late now. Okay, so you're all frantic because you can't find your goddamn keys. Oh, now I remember. There they are. Okay, so we picked them up. Are we all relating to this? Yes? We've been there once or twice? Yes. Okay, so we got our keys in hand. We get in the car, we shut the door, we turn the car on, and we drive. Ding-da-ding, da-dee-da. We're listening to music. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, great music. Yeah, I'm watching the road at the same time. Not, right? Or we're doing text messaging. I'm sure one or two of us have done at least one text message when we've been driving. Looking at, whatever's going on around us. Oh, yeah, okay. And then we drive into the parking lot. Turn the key off, get out, and this thought immediately comes to mind. How did I get here today? I can't remember. Has that happened? Because we're not in the present moment. We're not focusing. We're in la la land somewhere. Okay, so I don't remember how I got here. It doesn't really matter because I've got a meeting to go to. Okay. So we get into the meeting and we sit down, we have our cup of coffee and it's all good and we're listening to our friend or our colleague and all of a sudden we find ourselves going, oh God, I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I didn't quite catch it because I wasn't listening. Or can you repeat that again? Didn't quite catch that. Has that happened? Hands up to any of us. And how do you think that person feels? Really, people, come on. So we take the rest of the lunch or the meeting to apologize profusely because we haven't been listening. So they get over it. We're friends again. All good. Okay. So the meeting or lunch ends and we go back down to the parking lot. Okay. Where is the car? I know I parked the car here. Where is it? Oh God, was it P2 or P3? Right? Panic. Oh yeah, it was P2, that's right. Now I remembered. Has this happened to any of you? Hands up. Yeah, so far away from the present moment. We're in La La Land. We're in busy mind. Busy, busy, busy. Okay. Now it gets a bit more complicated. When we are in busy mind, our mind is in control, and where it loves to take us into the past with regret. You shouldn't have done that. Why did you do that, you stupid idiot? Now, I'm not talking about a mistake we may have made 5 minutes ago. I'm talking our mind loves to take us into 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Remember what you did then? You remember that? That was really stupid. And I'm like, why do I need to know that? And my mind is going, well, it was just really good that I just remind you in case you forgot. Okay, that's great. Thanks so much. So there's like struggle, unpleasantness. Or it loves taking us to the future with worry. What's going to happen tomorrow, the children, education, finances, houses, health, all of that. Whoa. So past with regret, future with worry. Lots of struggle, huge amounts of struggle, right? We have and the problem is we have no control. No control. The past is done. It's gone. Future, okay, we have a modicum of control, but we just going through COVID. Did we know that was going to happen? So anything can happen, anything. So we're all in this quandary. We're either feeling inadequate, we're feeling like we failed, we have regret, we have worry, and then we pile on of judgment and criticism. Oh, great garden we're cultivating there. It gets more complicated. So when we have difficult thoughts or painful emotions or struggle or suffering, whatever is going on, we have this internal threat mechanism that switches on. And when it switches on, it actually releases adrenaline into our bloodstream. I mean, adrenaline is coursing through our bloodstream. Our heart rate gets faster, our breathing gets more shallow, and we're ready to fight, or freeze. We have had this mechanism for millions of years, okay? And I'd like to take us back 2 million years ago, okay? Same mechanism when we were cavemen. Every day was about survival. Every day. We had crazy wild animals out there like saber-toothed tigers and woolly mammoths that wanted to eat us for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and sometimes even a midnight snack. And then we had our neighbors down the lane. Now, our neighbors are quite aggressive, and they're not really very nice people. And they desperately want our village, desperately. And our village is beautiful because we have this stream running through our village. We have fruit-bearing trees. It's like this oasis. It's nirvana. And our neighbors live in kind of a toxic waste area. It's like there's a desert, and they really want our village. So they've got their clubs, and they've got some sharp things and some, spears, and they come down to our village, and they're not willing to sit around a campfire and have a cappuccino and decide maybe we can do this differently. Maybe we can negotiate something. No. They're ready to kill us. They want our village. They're going to kill us. Decimation. So every day was life about survival, kill or be killed. that's where this mechanism came in, because it was constantly on the lookout for any sort of imminent threat or danger in the environment, and it would switch on. So we were ready to fight, run, because we had all that adrenaline pumping in us, or freeze. If I just stand here long enough, no one will notice I'm here. Yeah, good idea. Now, fast forward to today. The threat is not necessarily out there, it's in here. The danger and threat is actually inside us, inside this. And so we literally end up fighting ourselves. So let's say I have the thought of inadequacy, and I start having this fight with it. I'm not inadequate. Oh, yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Do you remember all those other things you did that you were an idiot about? Oh, yeah, okay, I guess I am inadequate. So please don't fight with your thoughts. It's futile, really futile. Or my brain is, got it. Okay, so we avoid. We avoid at all costs. Don't want to feel any of that pain or suffering, so we go for that big tub of ice cream. Yeah, that's a good idea. Or we watch 20 Netflix episodes back to back. I haven't caught quite up to 20. I'm around 5, but I'm working on 20. Okay? Social media, video games, anything to avoid. But the problem is when we come back, it's there waiting for us. Or we get literally paralyzed. I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. Literally, that can take us into depression and anxiety. So this is where mindfulness comes in, because with mindfulness, we're able to step back out of all that chaos. Step back, take a breath, and decide how we want to respond rather than react. And literally, this is what the mind looks like when we take those breaths. It's calmer. So where does compassion fit into all this? Well, in order to know how we feel, we have to know. In order to be kind and gentle and compassionate to yourself, we have to know how we feel. So mindfulness allows us to that space, that non-judgmental, kind space, to be able to step back out of whatever's happening, take a breath, and ask yourselves, what is happening for me right now? Reminding myself that I'm human, and what I feel right now is completely and utterly normal. And then I have the breathing space and the kind space to give myself what I need. And that's basically what it is. Now, you may be thinking, well, this is a lot of sugary stuff, woohoo, how can this possibly help me? So you may have misgivings. So before I take you into the last practice that pulls everything together, I'd really like to know if you do have any misgivings. Like maybe it will feel selfish or indulgent. Are there any misgivings that you may have? And please write those in the chat box so we can address those now before we do the last practice. So are there any misgivings? Do you feel maybe it's indulgent? Or that you'll be somehow less motivated? Because if I'm constantly saying, oh, it's okay, then I'll be less motivated. I'll just sit on the couch for the rest of my life. Not for me. Okay. So you feel that this would be of help? Yeah. Okay. Some people do have misgivings about it, right? Which is understandable. We just need to remind ourselves, how would we treat a friend? If a friend is feeling down, would we say to them, you're an idiot? Would we say, get off your ass? You're lazy, you know what? No. We give them kindness and encouragement. And when they feel that, they feel better to actually go and do the changes or make the changes they need to make. And they feel close to you. There's a sense of connection. So we need to do this for ourselves. Without meditation, it would have gone into depression. Yeah, exactly. It's incredibly helpful. So thank you guys. If there are any other questions you have after the session, please feel free to reach out and ask. So I'd like to do this last meditation practice that pulls everything together, that what I've shared with you today, and you'll be able to use it anytime, anywhere. So if you can get in a position that's comfortable for you. Just closing your eyes, taking a couple of nice big deep breaths in and out. Just welcoming yourself with kindness into the present moment. Putting everything else aside for about the next 3 or 4 minutes. Then just allowing your breath just to float down to its own rhythm, going in, going out. And with the inhale, feeling a sense of nourishment, and with the exhale, feeling a sense of relaxation. Just being with the breath, allowing the breath to breathe you. And if you find at any moment that your mind wanders on to regret or worry or anything else that's going on, just gently bring your awareness back to the breath. I'd like you to bring to mind a situation in your life that is difficult, that is causing you stress in some way, or pain, or difficulty, or struggle. Maybe it's a health problem, maybe an issue with a relationship, something's going on at work, something you may be struggling with. And please choose a problem that's mild to moderate in range, because we don't want to overwhelm ourselves as we first learn the skill of self-compassion. So just choosing one particular problem, something that's challenging for you, it's causing some suffering. And I want you to allow yourself to see, hear, and feel your way into the problem to the extent that you experience some uneasiness in your body. And where do you feel the struggle or suffering most in your body? Where does it lie? Maybe in your chest, or your stomach, or your throat? Where do you feel it most? And making contact with this discomfort that you feel in this area of your body. As you breathe in and breathe out deeply and steadily. Then saying to yourself slowly and kindly, this is a moment of struggle. Really not acknowledging and validating it. Maybe saying, you know what, this hurts. Ouch. This is painful. Just really giving this pain, this discomfort, this problem some space without judging it or pushing it away. And now reminding yourself that this is part of human beings. This is part of our struggle. Suffering is part of living. And maybe offering these words to yourself. I'm not alone. Others are just like me. We all struggle in our lives. I'm not alone. Now I invite you to put a hand on your heart or any other place that feels soothing for you. Just feeling the warmth and gentle touch of your hand, which is a way of acknowledging your pain or struggle. And then just offering yourself some kind words. Like, may I be kind to myself, to struggle or problem. May I give myself what I need. May I accept myself as I am. May I be kind to myself. And if you're having difficulty finding just the right words, maybe imagine a dear friend who may be going through the same thing. And what would you say to them? And then offering those words to yourself as best you can. And as we come to the end of this practice, just taking just a minute just to settle in yourself. Just reflect on what you've been through, what you've experienced. And when you're ready, open your eyes and let the world and light back in. Okay. How was that experience for you? And it'd be great if you'd like to write in your chat box, or maybe just share openly if you'd be comfortable enough to do that. What was it like to give yourself kindness to whatever the problem was that you identified? So it needed that. Yeah. Thanks, Anita. Makes a difference, doesn't it? It doesn't solve our problems, but it's like this companion that's there for us, right? It says, you know, it's going to be okay. You can do this, rather than judgment and criticism. Yeah. Anyone else like to share? It's good. Soothing. Thanks, Annette. It's good but hard to just feel the negative feelings. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's not easy. And that's a really good point. What happens is when we feel pain and suffer, of course, we don't want to feel it. We want to go away from it, but that's energy. And so literally we're stuffing something in, and then it festers and actually gets worse. So if we can just hold it very gently and care for it. It's just like a little child who's fallen down and is hurting and feels bad. We put our arm around them and we say, you know, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. So we need to do the same thing for ourselves. And it's not easy. I mean, for me, it's sometimes it's incredibly difficult because I want to immediately jump in with judgment and criticism. So, and I think, you know, everybody else has it together and I don't. So I very much empathize. Good, thank you. I do yoga and meditation twice a week, but not as much meditation as this. Oh, thanks, Linda. Yeah. So anytime you have, thanks to everyone for sharing. Anytime you feel struggle or there's some suffering, if you can take the breath, it turns the fight or flight off and just really create a space, even though it's painful. Because when we avoid our pain, it basically says that our pain doesn't matter. I mean, I know it hurts, but we're saying we don't matter. So it's really important to create that space, ask yourself, validate and acknowledge what we're feeling, and then give ourselves some kindness and remind ourselves we're part of humanity, and being human is hard. We have to go now. Yeah, no problem, Ron. Thanks very much for coming. I really appreciate it. So I'd love to know what are the takeaways for you today? What things that you feel that will be helpful for you going forward from today? And if you can just maybe write in the text box or just share any takeaways that you have from today. Take time out and stop and yeah, be aware. Yeah. Yeah. We don't do it enough. Got to run. Yeah. Okay. Bye, Gina. Thanks for coming. I need to stop avoiding trying to think about things. Yeah. No more. No more Netflix. But I love Netflix. Just kidding. Oh, yeah. So yeah. Sometimes we do need to do the Netflix. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't watch Netflix or don't eat the ice cream. Please continue to do that. But doing it through love rather than through avoidance. Yeah, the meditations don't take very long, but the difference, yeah, they may make in my mindset is really beneficial. Yeah, absolutely. Two really easy things to do is to set your watch, let's say for every hour, every 2 hours. And when the alarm goes off, actually stop and ask yourself, how am I doing right now? How am I doing? And sometimes it'll be, you know what, I'm feeling great. Fabulous. And sometimes, well, I'm not feeling so great. And then we say, what do you need? So just check in. Just check in to see how you're doing. And the other thing that's really helpful is when you're suffering from stress or anxiety or maybe a little bit of anger, it really helps to actually breathe in on the count of 6 breaths and breathe out the count of 6 breaths. For 2 or 3 rounds of that, that actually helps. Just it calms down the nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system switches on. So those 2 things really help. And from my own experience, what I felt really honestly, when I motivate myself and motivate myself through encouragement rather than judgment, I can tell you I do what I need to do. And when I try to motivate myself through criticism and judgment, I procrastinate. So it honestly, from my personal experience, it's really helped me. Any questions before we end our session today? Okay, any questions? You guys, I really appreciate you being here today. It was a pleasure for me, and I hope that what I shared with you will help in the days to come. And if you have any questions, please email me because you've got my email address from the link for Zoom. You're welcome. Absolutely. You're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome. Thanks, everyone. Take care of yourselves, please. Please.
Thanks, Shelagh. It was a fantastic session. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Lots of love, everyone. Thanks a lot. See you.
Bye.
Bye.